Hello, everybody. I am so excited to have with me today one of my students, VIP coaching students, and an actor. His name is Gage Robinson. I am so happy that he was so gracious with his time. In our session today, we're going to talk about the skill that most adults were never taught. And because of that, they continue to struggle in their health, in relationships, in career pivots, and very much with finances. And these are some of the things that I've worked through. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Gunjani Patel, and I have been a licensed mental health therapist and a nervous system architect for over 20 years, doing this work, pouring into thousands of students and getting them massive results. And today, you're going to see how Gage's life turned from here to here and still pivoting to here. And we're super excited to come to you live. And I am just so grateful you're here. So, Gage, welcome to our channel, and thank you for doing this with me today. I truly appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. Very grateful to be here and to have this opportunity. And obviously, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be sitting in this position. So
thank you.
Happy to dive into it and absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So Gage, tell me that when you first came into it, tell me a little bit about you. Who are you? So that way the listeners and my community gets to know you a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. So I'm a transplant out from Texas, living in Los Angeles, California now. I had the dream of being an actor at a young age, and so I've been chasing that ever since. We've gotten really big into fitness and kind of motivation and fitness classes when I first came out here. And so that was a huge push into kind of where I'm at now and the vision of what I wanted to do as I came out to Los Angeles. And acting is such a great passion. It's people driven, and it's all about exploring emotions, and being emotionally regulated is a huge part of that. And so as I've been going through this journey of not only the acting but also motivating others as a fitness coach, I've really come into my own of melding the two together. And so this has just been a really awesome opportunity to do that with you, Gunjani, and I think that this is a fantastic opportunity to pour into others as well.
Yay! I love that you love the gift of giving. Thank you. We really do that here in this channel. So one of the things that I really wanted to ask you was when you first came into my world, right? Where were you and what made you seek me out? I know we met through common friends. So can I give our listeners and viewers a bit of a background about where did your journey start with me and what you had done prior to that?
Right. So before this, like I said, I was doing a lot of acting. There was those vertical dramas that I was a part of. And the reason I mentioned they were verticals is because they can tend to be very high stress situations.
I hear
sets.
from all my K-pop people.
Right. We're shooting about 100 and 120 pages a week. So you got about 8 days to get those in, 12-hour, 14-hour days. It's just, and that's being in front of the camera. Behind the camera, which is where I met the liaison to you, she was a producer, and I was working behind the camera for her for a little bit, and the tensions will rise, and you really find out kind of how you deal with that when you're confronted with it in the moment. And
right.
I just been feeling kind of frustrated, lower vibration. I knew that there was something more. I was missing something. And so the producer had been talking to me, and I expressed this frustration. She said, I have the perfect person for you. You have to talk
I love her so much.
At that point, her therapist as well. And so I brought on Gunjani as my therapist, and she just took it from there. And I think we've been working for about 9-10 months now.
Yeah.
But right, I was in a position where I was stuck. I knew that there was more to life than just what I was doing, and there were emotions that I didn't like in that I had expressed, and I didn't know how to do that. And so I knew that there was something more. And sure enough, the key to the treasure chest was
unlocked.
Right a conversation away and unlocked immediately.
It's such a pleasure to have you in my world and my orbit. So I want to sort of dial back a little because again, I want to in my world, I'm very big on fastest, most gentlest, and the easiest ways. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about also 9 months, but there were times that Gage thought he was healed. So he took a dribble break. because,
It was great. I should
we're
write a
going to
book
talk
it. It
about
was wonderful.
that. What that looked like before we kind of, I want to jump into what brought you here.
Yes.
Because I think when you first came
Yes.
to me, you were talking about, I want to work on relationships, Gunjani. So talk to me about that. What were you going through? What were some of the emotional patterns? What were some of the life patterns? What were some of your belief patterns at that time? What era of life were you in?
Yeah, so I think at that point, before I was fully healed, I had a lot of beliefs around relationships in terms of like people pleasing, and there was a large and what's funny is that what dovetails with that is a lack of self-worth.
Yeah.
So self like worthiness was huge to me. It was like, well, I don't deserve this. I don't know. There's a timidness to this, and so that's kind of where I was at. I wanted to be more than I thought I should be, and so there was all this doubt and this worry and this fear in my head, and then you dovetail that with the relationship side of thing, and then it's just, well, whatever I can do to please them, like I'll sacrifice my time, I'll sacrifice my energy, whatever. And I was in the past a kind of love bomber, and that was a huge part of that people pleasing. And then I would wind up with this just emotional hole of like, well, where all my emotion go? And then I would get upset with and so that pattern would just continue and repeat and continue and repeat. And I just got to a point where you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired, right?
That was
And
me.
so I
10
think
years I did that. Same guy, different last name. Yeah.
Yep, and you're like, I can't keep doing this to myself. I'm spinning my wheels, and I know again, there's that sense of wanting more, and when you have that, it doesn't go away. First of all, you try to just kind of push it down. Like, no, it's fine. Well, where we're at's fine. We're comfortable. It's okay. Everything, there's no change.
Yeah.
But sometimes that change is needed, and in this instance, that was exactly where I was at.
I love that so much. You talk my words now because you've been in my world for a while, and the reason,
true, yeah.
I noticed
I can
it.
feel it.
I noticed it. That's why I tell people, do the replays. You
Right.
change your language. Do the replays.
And that's such a big,
Because
if I can talk about that. for
I
just
want
a
to
second.
talk about that.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's just such a huge part, and that's something that even before all of this and meeting you is, language is a huge part, and that was a huge thing in my fitness journey and everything. And being an instructor was looking in the mirror and telling you got this. If you give yourself that positive self-talk, it's not the toxic positivity where everything's good. Like, the hard work that comes with it.
There's a
Right? There's
video
justice in
that
the
I will
world.
link to here.
Right there. And so I guess this is live, so it's not gonna pop up. But that's the thing is that how you speak to yourself, and so then you think, well, that's easy for you. You just do it. Well, there's ways to work on it, right? And that's what these meditations do. And like what she was laughing about is that the phrase that I said, the past me or a version of
The
me that
worthiness.
was,
You didn't come to me saying, I have
Right,
worthiness wounds, Gunj. Help me heal that.
Of course, right. I just came and I was like, I don't want to do anything because I don't care about me. I'm not mocking it or mimicking
100%.
it, but I think
But you've
you
moved
get to a
from that
point where
version of you, 100%.
right, when you can see the past of it, you look at yourself with so much more compassion too. And I think that that's so cool. Of like, that's part of the healing process is the forgiving of yourself. And I know that we're getting off of a tangent here, but the words that you use and being able to practice that every day and do the meditations. And I know again,
We're going to talk
it's not
about that in a
sales pitch.
second.
It's not. It's just
100%.
it's just the way that you show up for yourself, and it's pretty easy to get yourself out of it too. You think like there's just this big rainy cloud. The sun can burn that up in just a second, and that's just those words.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it when my students, and like for me too, like when I go to retreats or when I have done all this work, right? Like as we change as humans, we gain new vocabulary, we gain new language. Because one of my mentors always says, right? Like the problems we keep facing in life are the skills we lack, and self-mastery is a skill, self-love is a skill, right? Like when you came into my world, you didn't say I have worthiness issues, heal that. You said I have relationship issues, but there are things that I'm struggling with in my day-to-day, and that really feels tough. Like I don't know, I've been to therapy before and I have gained some help, and yet I am finding myself here again. So one of your life patterns was, I'm healed, I stop. I'm healed, I stop. And this is not just you.
Yep.
And I say this with so much love because I've done that too.
Yeah.
Like I was in therapy
Yeah.
for 2 years, and then I'm like, I'm healed. 2-3 months, I would stop. I'm like, this is too much. Like, I don't know, right? So we stop. And that is a
Right.
life pattern that we keep doing because again, who wants to sit with discomfort, right? Especially when
Right.
you're really in the trenches, when you are trying to move past talk therapy
Oh, of course.
and really go deeper, right? So when you first came, I remember you saying, Gunjani, I was just, I'm struggling at work. I'm struggling in my finances. I'm struggling. I'm done with the relationship, but yet there is all these lingering things happening, and I would really like to put that down and unpack that.
Right.
And to me, that was I loved that because I was like, okay, you know what? He's very self-aware. He wants to work on himself. He's ready to go. Let's go, right? And
Yeah, there was energy, there was passion at least. There was
100%,
something-
because you were like, wow, like something is off. Just help me unpack this. And then week after week, lo and behold, we just kept unpacking and keep working on it. And then you took a massive break because you were healed. Let's talk about that before we dive into
Yes.
the emotional patterns. So we'll,
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it was around October, November time,
yeah.
maybe.
Around the
or it was
holidays.
kind of over the holiday
Yeah,
seasons.
yeah.
And, it's one of those things where like you kind of build the habit and you're like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
And
tell me what made
it's
you
kinda
think you were good?
well, so I don't think there was like one defining
Right,
moment where I'm like,
right.
dude, I'm great. But it kind of became like the workout routine that I'd have, where it's like you work out for a while and then you're kind of like, okay, I look good enough.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not. So I think there came a point where I just said, like you talked about, it was the pattern all
Yes,
over again.
yes.
Just like I do with the relationships, where it was, I poured myself into it. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so I stopped for a while because I was just like, I can get away with it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
I'm not in pain anymore. Nothing's
Right.
imminent. Nothing's looming. Nothing's right there to scare me.
Right.
And then sure enough, a few months later, boom. And what's funny is, and you call it God, call it the universe, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it, it exists
Yeah.
because I'm in this I'm doing bad behaviors. I'm slipping back into bad habits. I'm not the person. I'm slipping. I'm regressing.
Yes,
Let's be honest.
yes.
And I'm sitting at happy hour with one of my friends, and all of a sudden I get this message. It's from Gunjani, and she's like, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while.
When you're my
What are
coaching
you
client,
doing?"
I come after you.
And it was like an angel, just it was exactly the my subconscious speaking out loud and putting my feet to the fire and saying, no, there is no being healed. This is, you have to continue this.
Yeah.
And so we jumped right back in. We had a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
And then and it's that tough love. It's like I talked about. There's all this positivity, but there's also the realness of the work.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't get to have one without the other.
Yeah.
And so coming back to this work, getting back into the meditations, like I can feel the plasticity of my brain changing, and it feels so good. And it's like, oh, right. Yeah. These are what great days feel like again.
Nah.
This is how it feels to be present in the moment, not bogged down by all the other, worldly thoughts that we have. Everything just comes back down to being grounded. You're in control. You're in the present. And as we've talked about, as we're kind of continuing forward, it's less about the thoughts and more about the feels, right? The thoughts lead to the feelings, and then when you can really lean into those feelings, I mean, it comes in waves. So
Hold that thought. I want to really tap into that a couple times because I think that has been so amazing for me to witness as you have transitioned in your journey into the person you are now and you are becoming, because we have amazing things planned for you. So I want to double click into I believe that it's not about you're completely healed or not healed, right? Like spiritual awakening is a journey. Becoming a better version of you is a journey. There were times that and most of us live in this space of, I'm okay, life is good enough, so okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right? I'm fine.
It's killer.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
But you're not, right?
Are you? Yeah, exactly.
And I I ask myself
I'm
even
not
now
buying it.
after doing all these years of work, right? So it's not like you're not fine or
Right.
you're fine, but
If
eventually,
you're not healed.
bad. Eventually, you get to a place where you build this resilience about you. The reason why why I came after you in terms of support and accountability was because you hadn't completed your first 90 days. Like to me,
Yeah.
neuroplasticity and brain change and just completely resetting into new identity takes repetition. It doesn't have to be 90 days. For some people, it can
Absolutely.
happen in a month. It doesn't matter. Like the time
Right.
is not of an essence. And the whole idea is that we keep practicing the new patterns, a new frequency, and the new vibration. Because otherwise, it's really, when life keeps lifing, it's really easy to go back into the old patterns when you're like, okay, I'm healed, and then you're still struggling in your relationships, you're still struggling with money, you're still struggling with your purpose, you're still struggling
It's not
in your
whole.
health.
It's not, yeah.
Yes. So I really want to emphasize for those of you that are watching, and for Gage, like you were really humble about that. You were like, yeah, you know what? I thought I was healed, and I'm right back scrolling. I'm right back into not doing good habits in the morning. Go ahead. Tell
But
me
can
what
I
your
say- can I
vices
say
were.
that-
Yeah, for sure.
Well, so first of all, what's funny about falling off the wagon
Yeah.
or being healed is that
Your
the
actual
work that I
words.
did all before that, the work that I had done before
Yeah.
that, because I'd done that work, I was able to there was more
Yeah.
self-awareness to
Yes.
realize, oh, I'm doing the same thing. So the vices were, if I could be candid,
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
It was, scrolling on TikTok, finding new video games to play on Apple Arcade, and
Escaping,
like
pretty much.
kind of
Yeah.
escaping and as we deeper into,
Yeah.
it turned out to be there still exists the I want to do this, I want more, I want better, that still exists, but that energy was so overwhelmed by the fear and the what ifs, and so then it became, well, it's just easier to just,
Turn
I'm
all
just
that
gonna
off.
light it up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
exactly, I'm just gonna turn the brain off,
Yeah.
and then nothing exists, and then 2 days go by, and then you tack on my other pattern, which is self-shame,
Yeah.
of saying, well, Gage, you should have done this. Gage, why aren't you doing this, Gage? You know, but and then it just becomes, and then you're like, I don't want to,
Yes.
and so to break out of that, to go back to those meditations,
Yeah.
to put on the visualizations of the person you want to be, the 90-year-old self, and putting on the cape and the chest plate to feel that confidence. It really does change things. And the action that I've taken, the brand that I've now launched is, we're still working on it, and it's still in its infancy, but it would have never have happened had I just stayed in this, well, I'm fine.
That.
Because that was that was the lie I would tell myself.
Yeah. And most people
'Cause I would
do.
know it.
Most of us do. We know that there are bigger dreams out there. We know that
Right.
we're not giving it our all when it comes to life. We know that we can have a better life, right? Like a dream life, right? A lot of people
Right.
I hear this from. And I also was that person. I'm like, I knew it existed out there, but why wasn't I there completely? Well, some of that shadow was because I used to be in the space of living in dissatisfaction and the gap of life versus appreciating the gain and staying in this state of gratitude. That's something I had
That
to teach
part, yeah.
myself. And now I teach you and all my students in my community. But it's like we know there's something more, but we just allow ourselves to just fall back into mediocrity, into dysregulation, and that is the body's protection mechanism. Nervous system is meant to protect you, not meant to help you thrive.
Right.
It is meant to
Exactly.
hold you
survive,
back,
just
survive.
to keep you exactly.
Right.
Right.
So tell me,
And I just,
go ahead.
yeah, go on. No, go on.
No, finish your thought.
It just kind of escaped me.
Okay,
as we were moving
so
forward.
when you
Continue.
started this journey, right? Like when you kept mentioning the word meditations a few times. So let's talk about that. What changed or what shifted for you? Or for people who are like, I don't like meditating, or I'm just like, most of my people never say that actually. They love my guided experiences. But for someone who is watching and wondering what my versions of meditations or nervous system regulation and subconscious work looks like,
Yeah.
what was that experience like for you? What did that do for you?
Well, so this actually kind of brings in the thought that just left, which is, I think oftentimes we look at meditation, and because I've had this belief,
Yeah.
you look at it and you go, well, how's that going to get me there?
Yeah.
Because you're asking like, why can I do this? And
Yeah.
you're looking for an answer.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that the answer doesn't exist externally. Not to sound romantic about this, but it truly is when you turn the brain off and you connect with yourself and you center yourself and you're quiet.
Yes.
And that's uncomfortable for a lot of people,
Yeah.
which is why there's such adversity to it. So I think coming into the meditations and what helped me with it was that I didn't look at it as, okay, I'm going to go be good at meditating. I'm going to do all my meditations. I saw it as, okay, this is a piece of structure that I can use to get better. I'm just going to, there's no expectations. You just do it. She's going to guide you through it.
That.
Just do what she says.
That.
And now it helps.
I love that.
Major, so I've done,
Like my best student moments are this. We're like, just tell me what to do.
well, exactly.
And there's so much surrender to that. Yeah.
And the coolest part, and again, this is kind of a plug for you, I guess, but purely genuine, which is she has an entire library. You have an entire library, and this library you can go and you can just search and say, okay, well, I need grounding today, or I need focus today, or you know what, I don't have a lot of time. I need something for 12 minutes. Boom, you got a 12-minute meditation. It's going to set you right.
Yeah.
And I've used that many times on film sets, especially. And I'll tell you what, this is another thing I think. A lot of people think, oh, I got to sit down for an hour. No, you need 7 to 12 minutes. I mean, obviously, the longer the better. But
Yeah.
I sit down. Some of those meditations you have, those 12-minute meditations, and I mean, even after 12 minutes.
Tell me your TEDx. Give me your one TEDx talk. Every morning, by the way, for all of you who are listening, I literally hear from Gage. He's like, Gunjari, he'll leave me a voice note. Today we did October 9th. And oh my God. Okay, I didn't mean for it to be a TED Talk, but oh, that felt good. And I was like, I so appreciate that. Because when you share that realization, that breakthrough goes so deep that it's like, when you go past from first grade to fifth grade, you can't just forget what you learned in first grade because now it's so deep in you because you are just rewired. You are reprogrammed. Yeah. And I love it when you share those TED Talks, like 2-minute TED Talks with me every morning.
I love that.
Because
I'm glad you listened.
Like sometimes when I don't get those texts, I'm like, I guess Gage just fell off the wagon again. He's healed. And then he comes back.
Yeah.
But give me some of your TED Talks that have actually, like you have been on a film set, or you've been with your parents, or your mom telling you, you know what, your coach is your wealth coach.
Well, I've got something great here.
Tell me.
And I want to preface with I love everybody on that film set, and I love animals.
Yeah.
But there was a situation where I was already kind of bogged down by allergies because we're at Juniper Park filming in Arizona, and I'm allergic to juniper. Like really allergic. Like this is one of the only things I'm allergic to. And so I'm already kind of dying. I'm also allergic to cats. And one of the other actresses, for other circumstances, she had to bring the cat onto set. And so, we welcome all, but it was getting tough for me, and so I kind of was starting to get a little frustrated because, with acting, it's like you need your voice, you need everything. And I couldn't breathe. I sounded different. And I'm like, we're filming the beginning of this movie at the end, and I sound worse. It's so like, I'm all in my head, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning. I go out onto the deck, and I've got this beautiful mountain scenery, right? This crisp mountain air, and I do these 12-minute meditations because we've got, I got to get makeup on. I got to get mic. These are busy days, but I have 12 minutes, right? So I take those 12 minutes, and by the end of it, the TED Talk that usually came with it was that I control this. I have the power of controlling my thoughts. I can see my thoughts. I can let go of thoughts. It's safe to feel these things. It's okay to have these feelings. And so it's that empowerment. So it's usually good morning, Johnny.
I love it.
And then I'm like, today was a great one. And so I'll tell you about today's, which was, I keep trying to do this visualization of my future self, 5-6 years ahead of me. Superhero Gage, my hero, and so I'm visualizing him, and we talk about the intention. I am, I have, I feel, and so I like the I feel because if you when you really feel something like you talked about, it solidifies it. It ingrains it into your body, and so when I did my walking meditations, it was a cape. Feeling the cape billow behind me, made my chest rise. And today I really need it as I'm launching this brand, and as I'm trying to do more, being out there and putting myself out there. I need that confidence. I need that ability to say that it's on me, and whatever the projections of others are going to come on to me, I'm just going to reflect that back with love. And so I put on that breastplate today, and I saw myself rise, and I went on a walk afterwards, and it came back to me. And then I embodied it, and then boom, as soon as my body rose and I felt that plate, the thought started becoming, I can do this. I'm
Yes.
putting myself out there, and then you just feel this energy just, and so yeah, I mean, we could go on for we could go on for hours, but the light that you feel, and again, the visualization, there's just so many different components of this, and I geek out over it, but when you get that meditation of feeling the light come into your body from your unique soul star, and you're just, and again, it's not this woohoo
I
stuff,
love
like there
you
is
use
some,
my language. It's like it's ingrained in you. There's no
but
escaping this. Yeah.
and I think that that's a huge part of the growth
Yeah. Yeah.
journey. While
Yeah.
it is only you that can change, to have a community that surrounds you with the words and the tools and the support, you can't fail. You've got somebody saying, "Hey, haven't heard from you. You're not healed. I
Not
love
yet.
you.
Yeah.
You're not healed."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and here I am launching a business and doing, and managing my finances, things that I used to be terrified to look at. Sorry, mom, if you're watching, but I used to be terrified to look. And I'm 30. I'm almost 32 years old.
Right.
And like,
Right.
so it just gets to a point where when you really take 100% responsibility, and you have people around you that hold you to that,
So good.
life is great.
I love
Life is
it. I
really,
love it. Like you
really fun.
totally. So tell me what has changed in your life as a result. Well, before you tell me that, I want to kind of double click into what you just said. Because we were explaining how some of us just are stuck. Like I used to, when I find my mentor, I'm very big on I want fast growth. Like I can't do it. I used to be a person who was like I
The
can do it as
shortcuts.
on my own. I'm the therapist, and then I humbled myself that I don't know everybody, and I don't know everything, and I want
Right.
to get the help from people who model the life that I want to live. So I collapse the time. I invest that money, and I used to have a lot of wealth frequency issues that I really had to work on for myself, right? Like I would never spend on any myself, but everybody else, or I would spend money and I would release it, and I would keep spending and making, spending and making. And then I hired coaches to help me with wealth. I hired coaches to help me with my mindset. I hired coaches to help me with meditations. And one of my biggest thing was my mission is to get people the fastest result in the safest ways, in the gentlest ways, in the most beautiful, ways possible. And that cannot happen. Like healing doesn't have to be painful. Healing doesn't have to be treacherous. Healing doesn't have to be,
Can I interject with one of your
yeah,
quotes? Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional.
100%,
That one I have
100%,
held on
100%.
to.
100%,
Continue,
because
sorry.
I truly believe that. And I've lived in suffering for 3 decades of my life till I was 30. And I was like, no more. Nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Since I
Yeah.
found
I'm
my
tired of being
therapist,
sick and
right?
tired.
That,
Yeah.
that of being sick and tired. Like nothing changes if nothing changes. That is one of my favorite quotes. Because I'm like, we can't keep doing the same things. Because, like, even with meditations, right? Like, my meditations are very big on, like, I like active meditations, not the passive ones. The passive ones, my mind is too active, and I'm like, "Arr." And
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
have, like, I've been a meditation teacher for almost 15 years now, and I've done all kinds of, like, starting from Vipassana, Nishkam Karma, breath work, all kinds of different stuff, right? Like NLP, hypnosis. And I have found that just because I've been trained in all of that, and just because I've experienced of all of that, I think in my replays that I will post in the description that Gage does, it includes everything. Everything to get you in the parasympathetic, in the rest and digest, in the regulated, which is the opposite of survival, and a fastest amount of time. In like the more you practice it, the better you get at it, right? Because you don't have the language. That's the skill you lack, and I did before I found my people, right? So I didn't know the language. I didn't know how to manage my stress. I didn't know how to manage my emotions, and thus relationships sucked because of it. Like even today I had, like, I'm not going to talk about this, I'll talk about it in another live. Like I had a mom and a daughter come in, and they were like, oh, my daughter is not listening, this, that. And one of the biggest things that we did was nervous system regulation, which is your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions. And all of that changes with simple meditations or hypnosis or hypno breath work and all the things that Gage is talking about. Because again, healing has to be targeted. Healing can't just be like, I'm doing Ho'oponopono and then going through the same problem all over again. It doesn't have to be like that, right? Because if we haven't released the old stuff, we're going to keep feeling the old stuff. And manifestation equals consciousness. If you're showing up from victim consciousness or I'm trying to make it happen, pushing consciousness, then you're not in the allowing and receiving consciousness. And a lot of times people like you were like, Gunjani, I want good relationship. And I'm like, guess what, Gage? You're not going to like this answer, but it all starts with you. So let's do you first. And then everything around you changes. So tell me what changed.
Yeah, I mean, so I think, and one of the thoughts that I had while you were speaking, part of the meditations is not, there's so many things you can get out of it if you let it, right? Where it's like, okay, yes, in the moment, those 30 minutes, you're going to be on cloud nine for quite a while after that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I took with it, like you talked about, was the breathing, two-part breathing, and just ways to calm your nervous system, even when you're, right before a take, if I need to just center myself, acting, there's a lot going on, right? Okay, hey Gage, we need you, especially if there's 10 people on an indie film. Hey, I'm doing crafty, and then all of a sudden it's like, Gage, we need you to do this, and it's like, okay, now you're going on camera, and so
look at that.
And just a couple of those, and you sink into it, and it's not just this gimmicky like, okay, I'm going to do that today. If you've never practiced it, it's because I've done all of that work and all of those practices. It just, again, it ingrains itself into you, and so then you're able to come back to it. So to come back to the question of, it's part of how we've healed, and you touched on it again too. Another part that's really been a recent change for me that we've worked through is it's got to happen. I'm going to force it to happen. I'm going to have some fun with it. Right? Like just take that pressure off, and
easier said than done.
The dovetail. Easier said than done.
Because you've practiced it so much, and you continue to practice it. Now you know what joy feels like. That was not your pattern at first.
But like we talk about, if you got to have the emotional regulation, so therefore you're operating from safety. And so I think that the letting go of the shaming from the childhood and all of that, where you didn't feel safe
in your body,
safe to follow your intuition, your intention, what you want to do, and just simply knowing that I'm okay right now. Truly saying I'm fine, not the I'm fine. It's, I'm fine. My world's not burning down.
No.
I don't have to make, survival decisions right now. And letting go of that to allow, like you talked about. So that for me was huge, because my whole life has been, I grew up a swimmer. And so it was, if you're not first, you're last. No one cheers for second place. Right. A loss, isn't just like, well, it's a whole season. It's like, no, you lost every, so it's a very high expectation. And so when you live most of your life not emotionally regulated with massive expectations, the undoing of it is so freeing and relieving. And we've gotten to this point because and as she can attest to, we have done some very deep work. And it takes.
I can't conform or deny.
Right. Of course. No, I appreciate that. See, she does a great job. That was a test that she passed. But it's the work that, and I'm going to call it the ugly work, because I think it's even things that I, as a theater major and an actor, as somebody who loves emotions, even I don't know if I want to go into that. And you feel these things, and it's just. It hits you like a ton of bricks, and then you let it go. And then that weight is gone. That ton of bricks that just hit you is like, I don't have to keep that. And so releasing that just allows for a clearer mind. And I still struggle with the exact word, but there's a calmness. There's a peace that comes with the regulation, the meditating, the doing the work. where it just doesn't feel like you're being attacked anymore.
Ah, so good.
And I think that that's where you're able to start pouring into others and doing exactly what I'm trying to do. And without having this practice, without having somebody to guide me through that, give me the tools, the words, the support, I'd still be spinning on my wheels, you
Ah,
know? I'd still
I
be
love this.
pleasing.
I am actually
So yeah.
wanting to take a moment and love on you and literally like brag about some of the results that I'm seeing in you because, and you can add to this.
Can't stop, yeah.
Your money situation has changed. You now are in
Hmm.
control. You're more emotionally regulated. You track your emotions,
Hmm.
and you are now in control of your finances versus not ignoring
Hmm.
your finances and like freaking out
Right.
and worrying about which job is going to come and all of that. Your
Yeah.
career, we're going
Yep.
to talk about that in a second, but you are now looking into going deeper in your purpose and doing the things you love. Like, yes, you love acting,
Mm.
and you actually
Hmm.
also love that you are wanting to build more passive streams of income, which also plays into wealth.
Right.
In terms of your relationship, one of the things that I've significantly seen change in you was, there was this back and forth gaming with your ex. And the last
Yep.
time when they came or kept wanting to come into your life, you were able to set boundaries. And you were like, that is a
Yep.
concept and a skill that you didn't know before. You had to learn.
Hmm.
You didn't know how to say
Yeah.
no without feeling guilty. You didn't know how to not hurt other
Yes.
people's
It's
emotions.
tough.
And it's not just you. Like, as a ex people
Yeah.
pleaser, I
Yep.
100% relate to that. That how can I not hurt someone? How can I, be so
Right.
selfish? How do I feel so guilty for setting
You just
boundaries?
want to be liked.
You
Yeah.
just want to be liked. You just want to keep playing the same game and then keep feeling guilty
Mm.
because that is the pattern that we have taught ourselves, right? Unconsciously.
Hmm. And then it's just victim card too. Oh well, what's wrong with me? I'm just loving you.
Not,
No,
not,
no, no,
not.
no.
And then health, like when
As
you
they say in
said,
Texas, bless your heart.
that. And in terms of health, like you said, when you're stressed, you can't think straight. Like the piece that you were
No.
mentioning a little bit ago, as a result of doing all this work over and over and teaching
Hmm.
your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, how to reprogram itself, has been
Right.
because of your mental and emotional health significantly pivoting as a result of you
Hmm.
just staying accountable daily support, like doing
Absolutely.
the work, right? Like some days you do two meditations because you are like,
Hmm.
one of our mantra in our community and with my students is, you don't take today's emotions into tomorrow, you don't take today's doubts into
Right.
tomorrow, you don't take today's guilt into tomorrow, you don't take today's shame and pain into tomorrow, you do not take
Hmm.
today's fear into tomorrow, because
Hmm.
emotions are meant to be felt for 1 second to 90 seconds at the most. Because you are in
Hmm.
my community, you get 5-minute grace. Set an alarm, your brain loves timer. 5 minutes, and that's
Yeah.
all you're suffering for. After that, you
Hmm.
start regulating again. After that, you start pouring
Yeah.
into you again. After that, you start connecting
Hmm.
back to the expansion of the love that you are. After that, you start finding your center. Because
Hmm.
we cannot go through life unconscious and expect to live our dream life.
Right. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, right? You have to be into, and what's funny is it's something that's easily proven. If you just wake up one day and you're like, okay, fine, because that's my thing. It's like just give it one day,
Yeah,
see what it's like. If you just live life with an intention that you focus on as much as you can all one day,
that's it.
I bet you're gonna find that you had a better day than yesterday.
Yes.
I'll put a bet to it.
Yes.
If you didn't, then DM me and we'll talk.
So
But I
perfect
think it's.
segue. Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Mhm. Go on, go. No, 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 no. I was about to ramble.
So,
I was about to TED talk. Go on.
perfect segue. Tell us where can people find you? I know that you are now upcoming because I'm very big on my current community members of coaching healers, therapists, service people, physicians, and entrepreneurs. Very big on pivoting, learning, and growing,
Yeah.
right? Tell me where you're at with your purpose. I'm super excited
Yeah,
about that.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, the L word, learning. Absolutely. We are learning quite a bit. So this is kind of a dream that I've had, a passion, a vision that I've had for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
And it's taken kind of several different versions and identities, and now we're pretty much at its most final form, and I'm sure it will change as we continue.
It
But
will
it's called Your
continue to
Hero
change.
Awaits.
Yes.
Yes. So it's called Your Hero Awaits, and you can find it on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram at Your Hero Awaits,
Nice.
YOUR Hero Awaits. And the whole idea is like we talked about earlier. What got me to just really dive into this, and what I think is just so cool, and the feeling that it brings back is just like, I want to run through a wall, is thinking of future Gage as your hero. You know, you are gonna save yourself. It's great to have your sidekicks, and no offense to your sidekick, but having my sidekicks as in my community and everything. But seeing Hero Gage, you know, he's this 40-year-old just man, you know, and he's taking care of stuff, and it's just like, whoa, I want to be that guy, you know. And so visualizing him and his and then knowing that that hero awaits, knowing that I'm gonna get closer to him, you know, and that he's rooting me on. He's going, hey, come on, man, I want you here. So having that and wanting to give that to other people and saying, listen, it's not this hocus pocus, I've got all the answers and I'm going to tell you how to, you know, live your life and reach success. No, it's BS, right? And I think that there is this wave of also everything's going to be great. Let me show you how everything. No, let me show you how to do the dirty work
Yeah.
that no one wants to do that actually gets you the results because I went through it.
Ah, so good.
And I'm still going through it, and I'll always be going through it. And I think that's kind of the idea of if it's your hero 10 years from now, you'll always be chasing that. Not to say you can't have your successes and look back and see where you've come from, but to always have this like, there's better. I know there's better. How do I get there? Okay, I'm gonna keep focusing on him. What is he doing? How does he stand? How does he walk? And so that's the goal here, is to get the motivation to do it yourself, but not have just this, like we talked about, the I'm healed after 30 days thing. You know, if you're feeling better, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But this is something where your hero's always going to be there.
Oh, this makes my heart
and,
so
and
happy.
you always want more, you know?
That's great.
So your hero awaits.
Yay!
And so,
I'm going to put
and
your
again,
links
it's
in the
its infancy,
description
so
because I want
please,
people to
yeah,
get to
go
know
for it.
you,
We'll put
to
the
support
links,
you, to cheer
link
you
below
on.
or whatever. And so bear with me as we kind of all learn together. But the content will essentially be
Yeah, so
motivation and ways to hack your brain and words to use, so that you can see a little quicker results. But again, it's going to come down to doing the work and doing the meditations. And if
Yay!
there's anyone that I could tell you to do meditations with, it's good. So
Thank you. I am so
drop her
grateful.
link below.
I'm so grateful to have you in my life, in my orbit, and for all that you have become and are becoming, Gage. I always tell my students, I'm like, this year we're going places, and we're going places together. So thank you so much for watching. Yeah, go ahead.
I just said it's all to you. I want to
Aw,
retract that. It's
thank
all
you.
to us.
Us.
I want to say
Thank you.
I want to keep, you know,
100%.
we're not just the people pleasing.
Yeah.
But no, this has been an incredible journey, and I say that as though the journey's over. This is just the beginning
This is just
of
the
our next
beginning.
journey.
Yes.
And that's it's so exciting too, right? Because it's like, I think when you're stuck in that pattern of the doom scroll and the depression, now like the more you work on it, the more just rockets of desire, and I want this now, and this is inspiring me, and I didn't even know I liked doing this.
Oh,
And
so good.
it was so cool to see the rapid fire opportunities that spin off of doing the work.
Oh, so good. I love it. I am very big. This is like my mission, to see people go from here in the trenches to boom. Like, there is so much out there for me, and I cannot even believe that I am about to go get it. And yet I'm so grateful and satisfied and happy and content with my life now. And that is something we have to teach ourselves. So thank you so much for being here. If you're watching all the way up until now, I'm going to post all the links in the description. Thank you so much. Please share this with anyone that you know may benefit from this work and this channel. And also go out there and love up Gage on his channels, on his TikTok, as he endeavors his new journey and his purpose and lives in his mission to truly live the best life that he came here to live. Thank you, Gage. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
I love you all so much. And I will see you soon.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Queen Ginny. You guys have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Yay.